Hi, and welcome to the barn, live from the barn studio. We got Dylan via Zoom right now. We're joined with a special guest. We have Craig from Sikeston Jaycee Bootheel Rodeo. Craig, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely excited about this. August 6th through the 9th, the Sikeston Bootheel Rodeo. I guess, as far as the website says, it started in 1953, and here we are in 2025, but with so many events and an exciting lineup. Talk a little bit about the rodeo.
Well, it's a big history for us. A lot of people don't know in that early years it was barely passed by one vote to even have it the first year. A lot of people don't even know that actual fact. It's a gamble that they didn't know that they wanted to do back then, and here we are. 70. This will be our 73rd rodeo. With high level rodeo action, and our entertainment just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, and our studio's from the Farmington area, so we're very familiar with the rodeo. Been there several times. I haven't been in a few years, but I've obviously seen the growth even within the past few years. It seems like every year it's getting bigger and bigger, and it sounds like 40,000 visitors is pretty much what you guys
Yes, yeah,
expect.
yeah.
And I imagine that pulls from Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, Arkansas, a little bit everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's no really set boundaries. We did a study on, we had some ticket, we changed our ticketing system back in '09. We were just curious, and you'd be surprised how far we pull.
Yeah, and I think the entertainment is a big part of that. Obviously, the rodeo is still very much, intact and as strong as ever. But some of these national acts that you guys are bringing in now, we're going to get into some of them. But I know that that's a big responsibility that you're a part of, and I'm sure it's other people as well. So if there's anybody else you want to mention that's a part of that, bringing those acts in, yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very undertaking. I mean, I've already started on 2026, to be honest with you. We're always a year and a half out working on that. I've got a very good crew, what we call our stage crew. I do have an individual that's kind of learning a little bit behind me. His name is Micah Blackburn. He's been out there. Obviously, we're a volunteer organization. We do this for fun to give back to our community. So he's one that's been out there working with me, running spotlights to anything I ask him to do since he's 12, 13, 14 years old. He's like, I want to learn a little bit. And, all right, I'm getting older, and somebody else needs to, see how some of the stuff works as well. And then 2021, we brought in a talent buyer with Romeo. There's a local girl from Jackson area that just happened to work for Romeo, and we kicked it off really well. And she's been with us 2021. Her name's Lacey Hayes with Romeo, and we kind of spearhead this and tag team everything that we need to happen from 2021 till we are now.
For those not aware, the Sikeston community is a smaller community. It's near Cape, right, which is a college town, and near some other places as well. But what does this mean to the community itself? Because drawing in all that tourism and people coming from out of town, and they're staying in the hotels and they're eating at the places, and obviously taking in the rodeo, that can mean a lot for a small community. And how has the community responded?
It's very big for our community. The younger generation love it. And not only that, but it brings, like you said, money into our town. We did a study on a few years ago, roughly $8 million into our small town. We roughly have 16,000 people in our town. So you do the math. We have that in 2 nights out there as a whole. So what we do with that money, that we make from our rodeo, we turn around and give it back to agencies that, love to come help us. We give it to our schools. We give it to the DPS, anybody that needs a helping hand. They come out and talk to us, and we do our best to try to give back to anybody. Average giving back $150,000 to $200,000 a year in a community like that really sets the tone, for what we're trying to do.
One of the things I love about what you guys do, and what draws me to it, is I'm a music fan, and I like all kinds of different music, country music and rap and heavy metal, all these different genres. I like it all. And I feel like you guys embrace that, right? Where you could stick to maybe the more country side of things, because it's obviously a rodeo and there's a lot of appeal there. But last year you had Ludacris. This year you have Big X the Plug, right? So really kind of broadening out. And how has the response been to those acts that maybe are outside of that?
Well, this all goes back to COVID. We were one of the craziest ones, to ever even, put on a show. And we lost three of our four acts during COVID. And I had a round table, and I literally looked over the chairman, and to this day, he says, I can't believe you said it. But I said, I'm going to have something crazy to throw at you. Let's go get Nelly. And it just kind of worked from there. And our hip hop nights, we've not had one that's not sold out. We did scale back a little bit on Nelly's tickets just because COVID, the social distancings that everybody has to have. But we've not had one that's not sold out. And the crowds just, you couldn't have better crowds. You couldn't have better people, the artists that you deal with. And this kind of opened up to where we are now. Well, you got to cater to everybody. You want to bring out that person that usually doesn't come to the rodeo to see what it's all about. And we've got, it's just grown to where the demographics it's just that important for us to try new things every year and cater to the people that's buying the ticket.
The entertainment lineup's super impressive. How do you go about that selection? You talk about throwing out some ideas and some names, and sometimes that might go over and sometimes that might not. But somebody like Big X the Plug, who we mentioned, he's an up and coming. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's gonna
that's big for us. We had this idea. We had several hip hop artists that we wanted to, and you just kind of know some of these guys that are doing some other collabs, mix-ups. He had the song with Bailey Zimmerman that really took off. He's got other stuff coming. But it just, again, it caters to the younger generation. Those kids have carefree money. They don't have, mortgages and big, house payments and big, families. And that's who you cater to a lot because they come out and spend their money. And we also, cater to everybody, mind you, but you have to look at what's selling well and what's popular. You can't get in that hole of, well, I just want this person because, we know, you can't get there because, it doesn't work out that way all the time. You have to take risk as well. Absolutely. This year was a big risk. We didn't know, what to expect. Minus, I knew Saturday would sell really well. But different generations had no idea who they were. Who are they, or what is this? Even on Friday alone, we're having a country act and then a hip hop act. We've never done it before. So I mean, it's a risk, but it worked out really well.
Is part of that a risk? Maybe does it add to the excitement for you as far as the job goes?
I'm thrilled. I'm always looking at new things. I'm always trying. What if we did this? We need to look at it like this. I go back. I'm one of the older guys in the organization now, and I'm 40 years old. So that tells you, and they do respect our opinion of, even with Romeo, we look at different sales and what's hot. And, we go down the list. We've chased a Zach Top to Red Clay Strays, and they price point out to where we can't play in that game to have a profit margin that makes sense for us. So we have to be contingent on what we can afford.
You talked about already starting the planning, and that was going to be one of my questions for 2026. What are some of the biggest challenges in coordinating an event of this scale? We're talking multiple days, basically, a rodeo, but obviously a concert festival pretty much is what it is. And how far out are you looking at the weather? Because that can be a factor as well.
Yeah, that is, unfortunately, just like anything in the game, these guys know our name is on the map, I should say, and they know who we are. We also try to build our routes with others and say, okay, come through here, do this. But you do have the weather. I mean, we are on an uncovered stage, very unique, older stage. And they get paid either way they play or not. And a lot of the artists, it goes back to Riley Green. It rained all day when he was there. And last minute, I looked at our audio guy. Riley was very understanding. And he had a sold out crowd on a Wednesday night, mind you. And he said, I got to do something. So we went together up top in our bush light, patio, and he put on a hell of a show for, and right until it started lightning again. And it was, you gotta make things happen, because people spend their hard earned money to come, spend a day or the 4 days with you. So that's just, you just got to try.
Craig, so first off, like for me, this is like a full circle event, because obviously, like you, I'm in the business. But I'm also young. I'm 29. I'm a talent buyer, promoter, etc.
Yep.
And just what I've seen, because I started going to rodeo in 2012,
Yep.
11, 12, somewhere in there, and just the growth I've seen over the years has been absolutely remarkable. I mean, and just nothing but like respect, to you and you guys, for what you do. And today I'm glad to call you a friend. It's the same,
Yeah.
same for Lacey. So I guess my question is like, with that, like, what it, what does rodeo mean for you? And and what advice would you give to people who aspire to be like in your shoes, just like I was,
Yeah, for me, I mean, this thing, I didn't have a family member that, usually in our organization, you have a longtime grandfather, a dad, a brother, a cousin, that comes out and, they pull you out there. I remember when I was a young kid, I'd go to the rodeo and, just sit back and say, this is really cool. And I had a friend who was a past chairman. I filled his shoes. He kind of showed me the ropes. And, it just kind of stuck, and I've gained family out there. Basically, I've brought some of my closest friends to come out there. It just means more to give back. You get so much more out of it. I take my vacation
sure,
every year to go out there and do this thing. I mean, I spend more money. I've got now a soon to be 18-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they love to go out there and help. I mean, what can I do to help?
sure,
Between my job is in the internet and a computer business and a utility company for a power plant and utility company. So I go out there and work in other areas to help in that same regard. And I get off this podcast, I'm going to go change clothes and go out there and help until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And my family, I sacrificed a lot with my family for a long time.
sure, sure.
They see it and they understand it, and they understand the respect that I give and what I get back as well. So that means a lot to them.
Sure.
As the event grows near and we get closer and closer, does the stress level start to increase more?
It's creeping up now, honestly, because what have you forgotten? What's new? What's different? What's going to break? Because we're a 4-day event out there. So, things change, stress levels starting to creep up without a doubt, but it's also different this year. Our ticket sales, we're potentially going into the end of July having 3, almost 4 of the nights sold out. It's not happened before. I mean, so it's a
Yeah.
different feeling.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, well deserved,
It's we released some more limited stuff today as far as, hey, Thursday's getting up there, Wednesday's getting really low, Thursday's doing the same. Thursday's the night that it's a toss up because Wednesday's our opening night, everybody's got to be there, got to see what's going on. Thursday's kind of I got to save my money and my headache for Friday and Saturday. And this year it's different. Saturday sold out, then Friday, and then now Wednesday is a night what our younger generation are just flocking to with Ty Myers, excuse me, and it's crazy. I mean, it's a good crazy.
Can you walk us through, talk about the stress levels kind of increasing as it gets near? Can you walk us through a typical day leading up to the show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really depends on what day. I mean, our week starts Monday out there. So for my world, I've got to wait for we've got a group comes out of Nashville for our lighting and audio rig. So we start building Monday as soon as he rolls in. We like, as a family, what we call as an entertainment group family, we like to hang out afterwards to get that last, I feed our guys, we pass out shirts, we get everything together. We go over game plan. Tuesday, the same thing. We start setting audio, usually 9 o'clock in the morning, until we're done. And that's setting rodeo PA as well. And that's setting up trailers for our speakers and everything for the show. Time that rolls around, you're looking, to be honest, and you've got everything ready to go. I think I'm walking in because I have a camper on site next door to our barn area, is what we call it. I'm probably sitting there about 8 o'clock, going over everything, getting day sheets made. I probably go to bed around midnight, and usually that those buses and rigs roll in around 8, and we start load ins at 9. I mean, and it doesn't stop. I mean, until Sunday after rodeo, around 3 o'clock, where we're getting our audio guys on the road to Nashville.
As awesome as of an event as you have to have the marketing behind it, right? People have to be in the know that this is happening, that these awesome national artists are coming to town.
Yes.
What is your strategy behind that? Obviously, I'm sure social media plays a big role in that, but what kind of strategy do you think helps get the word out?
TikTok kind of drives a lot of it now. Nobody, and no disrespect to the guys on the radio, but they don't listen to what we grew up with,
I agree.
They don't. And we have to listen to our Facebook, people, kids, we pay attention to that. And we always see that, hey, you should get so-and-so. What they don't know, we've been trying for 5 years, or we're trying for that certain band or that artist already. We look at TikTok, we look at Twitter, we look at, what's hot on Sirius XM. We look at what the kids are really pushing for. We look at that all the time. I mean, right now I've been looking at some stuff that I'm working on for next year already, so the times have changed and people have everything in their pocket, and it's a little different.
No matter how much you believe in the artist and the event that you're going to put on, there's always going to be naysayers, right? I see the comments of other music festivals.
Yes.
People are unhappy with the talent that's coming
in. And you got to look at it as, you've got one person unhappy, you've got 5 people that are very happy. I mean, looking even back to this year, dating back to Big X the Plug at a rodeo. He's also played Greeley. He's also played some big rodeos. You get this is a rodeo, not a hip hop concert. This is a rodeo, not a rock concert. And then you look at the Houston rodeos, the Greeleys, the Cheyennes. My name once, as a rodeo in Sikeston, we were just put in the same category with Cheyenne and the outdoor large rodeos just this past year, and talked about at the NFR. We are in that conversation, so that means a lot to me, and having the same of the state artist that they have as well, or after us. And Nelly started a lot of this. I mean, to be honest, in 2020, he wasn't on any of those circuits, and he wasn't on any of that. And I fielded many calls of how was it? What did you do? How did it go? Should I do it? I said, yes, absolutely.
It's funny you said, Craig, because I will never forget that. The first, during COVID, whenever you guys had to rearrange your lineup, seeing Nelly, people are like, what the hell? What's going on? I'm just like, hey, I think that's awesome. It's almost like turn a new page. So like in more ways than none, COVID really did you guys a favor, and of course like Chad said, you have your naysayers who go, oh, it's just not a rodeo, it's not this, it's like that. But it's like, and obviously you and I have talked, but it's like, it's crazy. It's like, people can bitch complain all day long, but it's like what you guys are doing is a great thing. And the ticket sales have reflected that and have only gotten better and bigger year after year after year for the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's like really, and what's funny, I'm sure you know him, Chad, Craig, whatever. It's like, your naysayers will come out and comment on Facebook or whoever or whatever it may be, but they're still coming. You know what I mean? Which is what I find very interesting. It's like
not to bash within our own organization, but I had older generation that would come up and say, "What are we doing? Why are you doing this? I cannot believe this is happening." And then the next day, some of those same people come up to me and shook my hand and said, I had the greatest time and my family loved it as well.
Sure.
This is outstanding. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
I guess one question I have, Chad, if you don't mind, is for Craig is, like you look back. So I hear my parents and my grandparents talk about going to Sikeston Rodeo. I mean, I was born in Sikeston and for most of my life raised in Sikeston. So like I'm very familiar with like the Sikeston rodeo. But to go from like Dean Dillon to like Charlie Daniels to like, now you have like Coetzel, Whiskey Myers, and now you're doing hip hop. What's next? What does that mean for you and for Sikeston? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it started.
how do you guys stay fresh? You know what I mean? Like, what's next? Is it comedy?
Well,
Is it rock? What is it?
we had a Christian artist last year.
Yeah,
Thursday night. We've looked at comedy. It's just some of those comedy prices doesn't fit.
sure,
And you hate to say it, but I don't think anything's out of the question for us. We're always going to be on that edge of, wow, did you see what Sikeston did? As
sure,
involved and these younger generations, because you have to be. You have to keep up with the times. You don't want to put yourself back into that, and no disrespect again when I say this, but you don't want to put yourself in that fair category of, I
sure,
don't know.
sure.
You talk about having a teenager yourself, and I have one as well who is very into music and loves festivals and concerts. One of the biggest things I have as a parent is I want to make sure that when she goes to something like this, she's safe.
Yes.
And so can you talk about some of the safety precautions that you guys have ensured your safety team to make sure that that's the case?
As the Sikeston Police Department, they have basically a police station on site. They roll their mobile command center on site. We have not only that, but we have our county sheriff department on site, the highway patrol. There is more security out there and more visibility just because of my job, where I work and work with these guys alone. I see that and help them with their issues. We have some of the best high-tech internet, for obviously we have to keep up with the times with credit card sales. We are not cashless. But we also have, everybody has a debit card in their pocket, and they would choose to use that or Apple Pay and everything. So it's very important for us to have the most high tech, stuff out there for those 4 days. But it's also very important for us to share that with the police agencies, the undercovers, everybody that's out there to keep these kids safe, these parents, grandparents, everybody as they enter and leave our facility.
You talk about Friday and Saturday being sold out. Friday, Big X the Plug and Cameron Marlowe, and Saturday, Treaty Oak Revival. You mentioned also releasing some extra tickets. If somebody's interested in going those days, are they completely out of luck, or should we expect maybe?
I tell them all the time, call they on Friday and Saturday, call the ticket office. We did, and unfortunately, we did release some standard new onlys, and those have sold. But if people turned anything in or they didn't pick up anything, there's been a waiting list. Always call, get out there. We do have tickets open for Wednesday and Thursday as well. People don't understand. Both those nights are going to have some tremendous artists on those nights. Old 60, they've been in the area. Dylan knows them quite well. Ty Myers is probably one of the hottest country acts, and he's just climbing the charts on everything he touches.
I have couple friends that are involved in some music festivals, and I know they have issues with scammers. Are you guys taking precautions as far as your tickets and the authenticity of that?
Tell people, even buying, we always recommend them buying from us. You can only control what you can control. Be careful. Obviously, any buyers, us, we have our own from Click and Print. Make sure it's from us. It's just like the way of the world. It's just ridiculous.
So, Craig, if you would talk about your sponsors and what they mean for rodeo, but also maybe how people can become a sponsor. Because obviously that's a very important part of rodeo.
We couldn't survive without them. We have some crazy from Budweiser to, the list goes on and on. You have from three Eagles to looking at the list here. Some national sponsors to the little guys. People come in, business owners that they come in and spend their money with us for a week for us to put on this to turn around and give our profits back to the community. Without those sponsors, we couldn't really do this alone. I mean, because it set up, for the years to come. Because again, people forget we've had some trends of really, really good rodeos. You're going to have years that weather's going to affect you, without a doubt, and that happened in 2011 heavily. That happened in 13 heavily. And that's just the way it is. We live in a time that it could be 105, and the next day it could be a tornado weather, because it's happened. We have to be very mindful and very understanding of these high dollar sponsors, and we try to give them the best bang for their buck without.
Well, you mentioned weather because, like I was talking to Jason the other day at a gig, and it's like, all the years I've been on the rodeo, of course, I've only been going for the last, 10, 12 years or so. And 2024's rodeo was the most comfortable rodeo ever as far as weather. Like, because as you know, like you usually have to like change shirts 3 or 4 times that day, whatever. But last year was so comfortable. It was perfect weather.
The weather was
the stars aligned.
Well, the last big rain that we had, it was Matt Stell. I'll never forget. We were outside of Riley Green. We were weather watching that, and I have obviously friends within the weather industry that we use with the highway patrol. Our goal is not only the artists but the fans, the patrons that are there, keep them safe. So we sat down with all of them, and I literally said, you got like 4 songs and I need to get your stuff in our barn, talking to Matt Stell's people. And I said, within the third, I was like, you got to stop right now. I said, well, you got to give me 15 minutes to get your stuff to that barn, tractor pull, everything. As we're backing it into the barn, it just opens and downpours, and their production
Wow.
over and gave me a hug and said, how did you know that? I said, I've done this way too long. That this rain's gonna it's gonna pass, we're gonna get your stuff, we're gonna get you out here. And I'll never forget, Matt Stell and his people came in and said, hey, can you get all your people together? They come in and did an acoustic show for all our people, just because he said, hey, I appreciate everything you've done for us today. And it's just little things like that goes a long way.
Sure.
Join here with Craig, the entertainment chairman for the Sikeston Bootheel Rodeo. Dylan, you have anything else you want to address before we get out of here?
No, I don't. Yeah.
I'm really excited about this event, August 6th through the 9th, and Sikeston Jaycee Bootheel Rodeo. Craig, thanks so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to the event.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and definitely come out and see us. And if you want to come, just let me know. I'd love to have you.
And
Craig, I'm sorry, go ahead, Chad.
No, I was just going to give the plugs. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Craig, tell people where they can get their tickets, and most of all, buy your tickets early.
Yes.
That's a very, very big deal.
Well,
it's important.
It's the day after rodeo, week after rodeo, our tickets are for sale. They're online, ready to go. We have not announced our rodeo yet. Stay tuned. That may change soon. To be honest with you, working on 2026 stuff, we may have some breaking news. We may we're trying to do something a little earlier this year for 2026. But
Any hints?
Yeah.
Can you give us any hints?
Top 10. These guys are top 10, both of them. Very, very.
I'll call you after. Never mind.
They're a well-known artist, and we're hoping to have some movement here real soon, and we want to announce early. We want our fans to understand that they're there. You may not know who's coming, but we want you to come buy those tickets early. SikestonRodeo.com. 1-800-455-BULL. You can get them anytime. And if you're wanting box seats, we prefer that you call us. Season ticket holders, ask about that. Get on that program because I think.
How can you become a sponsor? Let people know.
SikestonRodeo.com. Scroll to the bottom, and there's a sponsor package there. It tells you everything from high-end to fence sponsor and what to do, how to fill it out, and people will get in touch with you to talk about those packages with you.
Sweet.
And we've obviously touched on a lot of the entertainment side. You guys have so many activities going on. Looking
Yes.
at the website at sikestonrodeo.com, like you mentioned, there's a crawfish boil. There's a ton of things going on that if
Yeah.
music isn't your thing or concerts really aren't
Well,
your thing, there's a ton
not
of
only
other
that,
things.
people forget these same rodeo contestants that are at the NFR and the big rodeos are coming into your backyard. I mean, so don't knock, just we're just a rodeo or we're just this. We're both. I mean, some of these guys they are high end, high dollar, rodeo contestants, and people forget that. I mean, we are, top 20 outdoor rodeo. I mean, for a reason. And
Yeah,
for the ticket price, you're getting both, and you're getting a bullfight on certain nights. You're getting the entertainment from the clowns. You're getting the entertainment from the bullfighters. It's a family event, and just come out and spend that last week of summer with us.
bareback riding, barrel racing, bull riding, steer racing, bullfighting, literally
Mutton
everything.
mutton busting for the kids. My son's 6, and we have a mutton busting event for the kids, and that's what he talks about. These kids, it's getting them introduced at a younger age. So obviously it's marketing as well. If they talk about it, the parents will bring them out, and you just want a little bit of everything for everybody. And that's important, from the hip hop to the young kids to rock, to Christian. Like I said, if it's out there and it makes sense for us, we're going to try it.
So, Craig, if you would talk about the Sikeston Jaycee Bootheel Rodeo Museum that's there in Sikeston, that's actually has the grand opening coming up later this
Yeah,
month, right?
absolutely. That's a very big deal for our community. It's actually Thursday, July 31st, from 11 to 2. We have a ribbon cutting at 11:30. I think the first 50 guests are giving some stuff away. It's a really, really neat museum. There's a lot of cool history dating back, which I know personally. I helped donate a few items of my own personal collection, as well as some very neat, there's a Kenny Rogers sports coat, a bunch of history from Kenny Rogers, just some really, really cool things that's going to be there and things that are coming there. It's absolutely outstanding. It's a building that was once our old police department that turned into tourism, to now part of it is our Sikeston Rodeo Museum. We look forward to really seeing more of it, but it's outstanding.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's an incredible event that's been going since 1953 with 40,000 visitors coming in. The Sikeston Jaycee Bootheel Rodeo. We have Craig, the entertainment chairman, with us here, and the dates are August 6th through the 9th. You can get all the information at sikestonrodeo.com. From one barn to another. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
And we'll see you in a bit, August 6th through the 9th. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.